And we are live.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Ed Talk Season 2. Whoa, I'm actually doing something.
You are.
Yeah. Anyways, this is Pine, and Pine is the
Hello.
first guest. And we're going to be talking about gender expression and who Pine is as a cosplayer and just cosplay
Hello.
in general, because that's what
Hello.
we do here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we actually watched the previous Ed Talks. I was in the one where there was like six of us, and we were just asking the stupidest questions, Daddy.
Yeah, I thought you guys were going to be like asking serious questions about cosplay, but no, the first
I
question was
I was.
okay,
I
you
think there
did.
were the others that weren't.
You did. But the first question out of the gate was what would your stripper name be?
Eddie, what were you expecting with those people that you got?
I don't know. Not I wasn't yeah. That was my mistake. Anyways, here we are. It's a professional ed talk again. I lied in my caption of is that what they're called? Yeah, YouTube captions. Description. That's what it
Yeah.
is. I lied in the last one because I said I'd be back in a month.
You were not. You were not.
I was not. Anyway, I am here now, and we're gonna do some interviews.
Yes.
So I'm first gonna start with some just regular general cosplay questions, and then we can move into gender expression with cosplay. Yeah. First question: when did you start cosplaying?
Fun. So I believe a couple days ago it would have been a year. I will actually go look that up real quick because I can actually find that. I believe on the 14th it was a year.
Well, that
Um,
was 3 days ago.
yeah, because I started March break, which was also the beginning of the quarantine.
Yeah.
Because my spring break fell. Like we literally had like it was announced that we were gonna have spring break and then 2 extra weeks as like a mandated quarantine, and then we just never went back.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't really do anything to celebrate it because I kind of switched accounts, so I can't really celebrate a year cosplaying when I switched accounts.
I mean, yeah, but you can still celebrate it just in general because
Yeah.
yeah, it's an accomplishment. A year.
No, sorry, the 15th. It was the 15th.
15th. Okay, so that was
March 15th was the first
yeah,
video. It was a
4 days.
clearance thing I do edit. The first video I ever did, I do edit Nico.
I love that.
It
That
was a
is.
Clarice, it was a Clarice chain.
Oh, that Clarice chain. What was it? I
Um,
remember it.
yeah, my name is Regina George. I do edit it for the release of Tower of Nero,
Oh yeah,
which I
yeah,
think was a good idea because I'm not gonna do it again because I kind of stopped cosplaying Warriors.
yeah. That's how it be. But yeah, happy 1 year anniversary. A little bit late, but it works.
Yeah. I mean, I even celebrate the day of, so
I can't even remember the day I started.
that's valid.
That's just
I
how.
only know that because it's the first video I posted.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably yeah. I think I might have cos tested earlier than that, but like I didn't really start cosplaying until I posted on TikTok, anyways.
A lot of people started cosplaying during quarantine and just like during that break because like y'all were introduced or decided to finally do it, and it's
Yeah.
great.
For me, like I had been debating it because my thinking was I had actually been considering it for a while because I'd been on TikTok for the past couple of months, and it was like, hey, I have a week where I'm doing nothing because it was March break.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, so I'll cosplay March break. It just ended up becoming the quarantine, but it started as just a week-long break.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's how it is. You just gotta. That's how we'll convert everyone to cosplay. I'm sorry. Anyways, I forgot to mention to people watching that if anytime you have a question for Pine, pop it in the chat and I will bring it up.
Yeah.
There was one question on my Instagram story, but I'll get to that one later. It's later. We're doing general cosplay questions right now. Because that's what I'm good at, because it's just reading from a list and putting a little spin on it.
Yep.
Got some water.
It definitely look like water.
It is water. It's room temperature water. Gross.
The
Okay.
horror.
It is horrible. Okay. I think you already answered this, by saying like when you started cosplaying, but let's put a twist on this. So, who was your first cosplay, like that you started cosplaying more often, like frequently?
Okay, so that's it. My frequency came in stages. If we're talking about the single, like we'll refer to my previous account. Talking about the singular cosplay that I did the most amount of videos of, it was Harley. I've done
Harley.
so many Harley videos. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. He's also the first cosplay I actually bought stuff for. Well, technically, because Khalees I got the shirt, but it was just like an orange shirt, which I ended up using just for Sea Beach in general, which I found really funny. Is I finally got a proper shirt, and I stopped cosplaying reorders.
How to turn tables.
But yeah, Harley, because I got a second pair of goggles. I already owned goggles, but I got a second pair because of a storyline thing.
Oh yeah.
And then I got a wig for Harley. But yeah, Harley was probably the one I did the most in terms of actual frequency. Clarice, like in the later stages of my account, not a lot of Clarice, but in the beginning there was quite a bit, just because that was like the one cosplay I had. Yeah, no, but like Harley was the fucking word, which I find really funny because the reason I cosplay Harley was because Nico asked, because they were doing a siblings chain and they needed the younger sibling, which was Harley, and then I became my thing. Also, actually, Llewellyn. I did do a lot of Llewellyn. But yeah, I think probably Will, Llewellyn, and Harley had a lot. Yeah, my kind of thing in stages. Currently, the one I cosplay the most is. I say this. I did like 2 different filming sessions. I just filmed a fuck ton with Technoblade on my current account, which is the one that's listed here.
Yeah, go follow. It's in the description. Do it, cowards.
Yeah, but Harley, I have a fuck ton of Harley videos. I did 2 different Harley storylines.
As you should. It's Harley.
And here's the thing. Both of those storylines, they were like more than 20 videos fucking long.
I would not have the commitment for that. I would not.
Harley History had 4 stages.
Oh yeah, those hurt.
Because it was, there was literally 4 stages of Harley. Granted, the 3rd stage didn't really have a lot, mostly because it was just the normal stage of Harley.
Yeah.
But it was a whole ass storyline, which is really funny because that, like, Harley Histories, I don't know if it shows up, but it's actually a tag.
I think it does, because I remember scrolling through it once because I wanted to experience the angst or something.
Yeah, that was. I also did one about like Harley's reaction to like Leo. That was before I got the wig and everything. That was also very angsty. Harley had a lot of angst tied to his name.
Yeah.
I remember one time I did the video. I did the What If Harley video. Where what if you guys were gonna murder me?
Yeah, and we would go through with it.
That was great. I've done a total of, like single-handedly on my own, I've done 3 series. One of which was actually like named, and it was like about 20. It was about 20 parts. Harley Histories was so fucking long. I don't even know how many videos there are in that. So long.
I mean, Harley's history needs to be told.
It was Harley made up.
I know.
Not to mention, we got a fanfic written about it because we came up with the headcanon that Alex and Harley were siblings.
I mean, I believe that headcanon with all my heart. It's possible, guys.
There's literally absolutely no backing to it.
It's fine. Alex has a mortal sibling. Has a brother. I think it's just
he has a couple.
Brother, so.
No, he has a couple, I believe. But yeah, because the reason for it is Harley's 7. For him to be at camp that young, something bad must have happened. You know, in my case, he got kicked. That was fucking sad.
Yay.
Right.
But even if that's not, probably an angsty backstory.
Like genuinely, Harley has to have some type of angsty backstory. Yeah. There's no way the kid is gonna be at camp at 7 if there's not.
Yeah.
Because the only other 7-year-old we know that went to camp was Annabeth, and we know how her.
Oh yeah, she had some stuff. Whew.
Yeah, and actually Harley's probably a runaway, or something along those lines, because that's how Annabeth got there.
Yeah.
Because monsters don't really run after them until they're like 12.
Poor Harley. Anyways, moving on. I keep on clapping too much. You already answered this question as well, but how did you originally join TikTok? Like, did you hear about it from someone, or you're just like, hey, this
I,
app is cool? Or
I think so. I'm not actually sure how I started with TikTok. I remember I was avoiding it for a while.
that's
I,
fair.
I genuinely do not remember. Um, mm, mm, could have been Travis. Might have been Travis. Not sure. I don't fucking remember. I also don't remember exactly when I got TikTok. I know it was a couple months before March. I just don't remember when. Um, so I can't ask you. I can't answer the question when I started because I don't know.
It just magically appeared on your phone.
Mm.
TikTok time. It said, I don't know. Phones can talk. I mean, I guess phones can talk. Kind of.
Yeah, but yeah. But I've been on TikTok for a couple months at that point. But yeah, I have absolutely no recollection of when I started.
Okay. Final general cosplay question, and then we can talk about gender expression, which
Yes.
it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
Favorite fandom into cosplay currently?
Probably just NYCT in general. I mean, that's kind of the one cos fandom I do currently cosplay. Um, I wouldn't say just the Dream SMP because, Um, my issue with the DSMP specifically is that everyone's so fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also because my issue is also is like it's harder to closet cosplay them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like some are easy, like Tommy, and it's not that hard. Granted,
Oh yeah.
I did buy shirt for him, but it's easier. But like, you can't fucking closet cosplay Technoblade.
Yeah.
Not successfully.
You need a lot of stuff just lying around in your closet.
I mean, there was the one because there's the one Technoblade cosplayer who just has clothes like that because that's all they wear. They just wear like that type of like clothing style. And had pink hair. So like they don't watch the Dream SMP. They were just riding off clout because it looked like their outfits were just technically cosplay. It's great.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, like yeah, because currently I only really cosplay from GSMP. Currently, it's literally my entire page is mostly just Technoblade, but I do have plans to do the hermit crab people. I have Green for most part. I'm sad though because I had the perfect hair for Green before because I had all the fluffy hair and then I cut it and it's like but I don't really care that much. I just want to cosplay Green because he's a chaos gremlin. Not like also Justin keeps referring to Green as a discount Tommy in it and I want to fucking strangle him.
Do it.
Because not only do the SBI look up to Green, Green is first of all has been around for longer and is also actually older. Also, maybe I have more subscribers. I'm not sure how many subscribers Tommy has, but I want to strangle him.
Do it.
But yeah, probably them. I do some DC. I did some of my first cosplays were Clark Kent, and I do have plans to do Hal Jordan and Wally West, along with some others. But currently, I really just cosplay the SMP.
As you should.
Just NYCT in general. I also did a stint where I cosplayed like a fair chunk of like Team Crafted. I need to finish that because I made ears for Quentin and I just never used them.
Yeah.
I do have a good Beijing Canadian cosplay. It's pretty solid.
Nice. I'm trying to think of a gender expression. Let's like leeway, like a transition. I'm trying to think of one.
Segue? It's literally called a segue. A conversation segue.
Hey, I don't have English today. I don't need to. I don't need to be.
They call them segues. My family makes fun of my mom because she just can't. We'll just divert the conversation without a good segue.
Yeah, you gotta just zip, zap, zop.
So Eddie's not good at segues.
Nope. No, I'm not. So gender.
Okay.
As we all know, gender is interesting. Sure is. And gender is really it's an experience when you are a cosplayer, because there's so many different paths you can go when you're a cosplayer. Like you can be a cis female and be like entirely comfortable in your gender and just like cosplay as a man with a beard, like Jay Schlatt, like that one cosplayer. I don't know, but I have that in my brain now. I have all. Thanks, Pine. It's fine.
But
Yeah, Pine here though takes their gender and applies it to their cosplays as well, which I think is a really cool thing to do because
it's a fun thing. Also, for those who don't know, I'm genderqueer. I use they them pronouns. You probably guessed I'm queer. I'm not sitting properly in a chair. Have you seen my outfit and my hair? What is about that is straight?
exactly. That's how it is. Yeah.
But yeah, because I have this thing where most of my cosplays just look queer because I look queer.
I
Like
mean,
one of the characters I'm cosplaying, Itsuki Honda. He's supposed to be a cis male.
mhm.
He does not look like one because I don't look like a cis male. Most of my cosplays I just look queer. Harley's an exception because I've made him look like a child, but specifically fun little Chloe's. So there was a trend at one point with gender bends. Like gender bends were a big thing.
Mhm.
My issue with gender bends is I didn't really have like the right hair to do any of the girls, and then like, obviously the guys I needed long hair. And then for example Chloe's, I did a Chloe's cosplay. How am I supposed to do a male Chloe's cosplay? Because my Chloe's cosplay looked gender neutral. Like my Chloe's cosplay looked queer. At one point, I just embraced the queer because the jacket I used for Chloe's, I just embellished with all of my queer buttons.
Yes.
I just put all my gay buttons on it. Also, currently it has Artemis and Apollo pins on the little like collar. Because this particular YouTube channel, they talk about mythology and stuff, and they've slowly been releasing pin packs of different Greek gods. And so I've gotten all of them. I've got Hermes and Ares. Ares is in a jar. I've got Artemis and Apollo, and I've got Persephone and Hades.
Nice. That's fancy.
Yeah, for the longest time they were sitting on my Nika D'Angelo hat.
As they should.
Yep.
I forgot what we were talking about. Why is
We're talking about
Yeah.
how our gender expression can affect our cosplay and how everything I do makes me look queer.
Yeah. But that's why okay. Now I remember what I was gonna say. Okay. Ah! Personal style.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. Cosplays have like their own personal style, and you can really see that in Pine's cosplays because they're Pine, you know?
Also, my biggest issue is just because of the way I dress, it's really hard to put together closet cosplays. Because I have a fairly like basic style. Like I'm very much for a long period of time. I'm getting a bit over it now. My style was casual, like it was functional casual.
Mm.
Like just I had pants. I just had functional pants. I have just shirts. Like I didn't really go for anything like avant-garde. I also had a bunch of jackets. That was probably the wackiest thing that I had in my closet. So that was the biggest issue when I was closet cosplaying, is I didn't have a lot of some of the stuff that people have, because I'm seeing people who do closet cosplays and I'm like, the fuck you have that in your wardrobe? Also because of my gender expression, I only have a singular dress. I used to have a bunch more. I had a thing where I just kind of avoided dress for a long period of time. But there's one particular dress, the one that I still own. For the life of me, I could not get rid of it. Like every other dress that ever entered my closet, I knew she's getting rid of it. That one dress, I could never bring myself to get rid of. I still can't bring myself to get rid of it. It's still sitting in my closet. It's a really comfortable spring summer dress. It's very revealing. I would not wear that in public without a shirt underneath. And I got it. I think I got like grade 6, and it still fits because it was a long fit when I got it. Um, like it was because it was long when I got it, so it's like I think just like right under my knee now.
Mm.
So like obviously it's a lot shorter on me than it once was, but it just still fits because it's kind of just a normal dress. It's not anything like super fitting or anything.
Yeah.
Though I would not wear the dress without anything underneath it or over top of it because it's quite revealing. Like you can see the bra because it was meant for like a child. I'm pretty
Fancy.
sure I got it before. Not sure, but yeah, like I didn't have a lot in my cosplay. Recently, Dre's joined.
Oh,
Um,
hello.
Recently I've sort of started expanding my horizons a bit. For example, I got this pirate shirt. I have this jacket. In attempts to sort of just kind of like get more stuff to add, to potential future cosplays. But yeah, a lot of stuff I have to like go out and seek. Don't get me wrong, I'm still pretty good at closet cosplaying. It's just I'm more limited in what I can use. But I've made do with what I've gotten. I put together like a soldier uniform with very little stuff. Like my TJ cosplay,
Oh yeah.
like that was a blue jacket that I owned and a baseball cap and just a bunch of like gold cardboard painted gold and belts. I have an ungodly amount of belts. My family just because it's called Halloween. We used to get a bunch of belts for different cosplays. Also,
Okay.
I have an ungodly amount of prop weapons.
I thought you were gonna finish that sentence with we just have a lot of, we got a lot of belts from Halloween. Like just that. Just every Halloween you go get
Well,
belts.
no, but like
I
his
got from
Halloween
that.
costumes because there was a bunch of ones that we had them for. Some of them are
Mhm.
just ones that I've been given and then just are sitting in my bin. I also have an ungodly amount of weapons because from grade 3 onwards, I was at every single year I was a different type of a warrior.
I love
Grade
that.
so I was a huntress in grade 3. In grade 4, I was Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon. In grade 5, I was a Scottish warrior. That was one of my favorite. That costume was amazing. It was very simple, but it was awesome. Grade 6, I was an angel warrior. It was pretty hardcore. There was like a lot of we space painted a bunch. It was
Angel Warrior?
yeah. I had a story that I made where there was an angel who was also a warrior. Okay, but like I had we spray paint. It was we had the armor and it was majorly made out of like sports gear. So for example, I had soccer shin pads as like a thing here. I had we cut up like a shield that we had and put them on like the football things and put them here.
Mhm.
We got the hockey things, that go here,
Yeah.
and we spray painted those. And I had like actual chest plates. It was actually really like well put together. And then grade 7, I was an actual assassin, which I used the hood of the robe I wore for the huntress costume for that. So basically, it was just me redoing a better version of the huntress. But like literally, we acquired so many weapons through all these costumes. Also, that assassin costume was the first unsolicited comment I ever got about my body.
Oof.
By one of my classmates in the changing room. Someone
Oh.
commented on, I never realized how skinny you were. Because that was like one of the first times I ever worn like tight clothing.
Mm.
I was an assassin. I had like a tight shirt. I had nothing like not school appropriate, but
Yeah.
tighter than I was used to wearing. Also, a lot of those costumes didn't hit the same at school because I couldn't bring weapons. Some of them were fine. Some of them still worked, but Astrid was the worst one to bring to school because the skirt was not made for sitting. It was not made for sitting. But I have an ungodly amount of weapons. I've also made more. I made a musket.
Weapons are fun, especially if they look more real.
None of them really look real. But I made a spear for Clarice. I have my Hermes Caduceus. I've got a sword. I actually have 2 swords. The other one disappeared though. 2 different bows. A frick ton of daggers. I have 4 throwing knives, 2 daggers. You look so concerned. I have
Yeah.
battle axe. Um, I have a bunch of like just posts and shit. I have yeah.
Fancy.
So I'm good in the weapon department. I also have a fake gun.
Lovely.
And my favorite thing that it's technically closet cosplay is my gecko hat. Okay, so technically this is something from my mother's closet. So when I say closet cosplay, it's also my mother's closet. So we got this scarf, this pin, and then this leather thing and a hat. This my mom made this. This is a closet cosplay. This is a
Whoa.
closet hat. My mom was a pirate one year, so it's a normal wide brim black hat. You can see it's kind of pinned here.
Yeah.
And she used this little pin that she had, and she pinned the feathers to it, which we just owned. And then we had the thing. It's a closet hat. So before I got the belt with the little holster things, it was a fully closet cosplay.
Nice.
So Gecko's gonna get an upgrade with this lovely pirate shirt.
I love Gecko. Gecko? Gecko.
Yeah, Gecko is my pirate OC, which again, granted, Gecko was also made to be queer. Technically, I keep using pronouns, but Gecko technically doesn't have pronouns. They're the Gecko. So like it's a character who you know fucking nothing about. You don't know their actual name. You don't know their pronouns or nothing. They're just called the Gecko. It's great. So they're made to be queer, but they also just look very queer.
On that topic of OCs and tags, I have a couple of questions. About that. So far on your time on TikTok, have you had a favorite OC tag or just like favorite storyline that you've made?
Okay, well, OCs, I've made 3. And technically one of them I didn't really make because Itsuki technically was one that Nico just kind of gave to me.
I mean, you just gotta.
I made something wrong. Here's the thing. I asked for Itsuki to be made for me. I turned Itsuki into my own character.
Yeah. Oh,
Itsuki was just given to me. Yeah, the only OCs I have was this Gecko, and the D&D OC who shall not be named. Who shall not be named. I don't think they had a name, but who shall not be named.
Yeah.
That was the second cosplay I've done on my account. I need to delete those videos. I need to fucking delete them. No, don't look for them. I need to delete them though. But I mean, I only really have the one OC, in which I really like. I do really like Gecko storyline. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of tapered off a bit, but Gecko's just a fun character to cosplay. Because they're sort of like what I love about Gecko is so they're sort of like they're trying to like seduce their targets and like murder them. Except Gecko's asexual aromantic. So the main reason they do this is because there's another seductress on the island whose name is Alexandria, and they're like in like complete competition with one another because Alexandria like works with all like the corrupt politician guys. Gecko murders those types of guys. And specifically, and my favorite part about this whole thing is that they ended up they bury the bodies. So they got caught burying the bodies in someone's garden, Lawrence, and they ended up living together. So they just kind of live together. Lawrence doesn't want people knowing they're alive. And Gecko's like, I don't want people knowing where I live. So they live together with a cat.
What sitcom is this?
And Gecko, and then just occasionally they help each other out. Lawrence tends to do like supply runs, and Gecko, continues on with their murdering. And like there's, and Lawrence is so just perfectly doesn't really question a lot when Gecko varies spies. It's great. They're not yet pirates, but they will be pirates soon. When Lawrence gets reunited with his long lost lover, and Gecko gets to meet like their old friend, and yeah, they're gonna become pirates soon. Have you not been following the 3 of the 7 Seas tag?
I've tried, okay?
Yeah, but Gecko's storylines are great. It's so hilarious. But yeah, no, they're like in complete competition with Alexandria. But yeah, they kind of like seduce. Sometimes they're just outright murder, but like It's such a time, and like everyone kind of knows Gecko's a murderer, but also not. It's like an urban legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, a favorite storyline. I don't really know. I think probably just Harley Histories because I put so much fucking effort into that. I put so much effort into that. It was such a time. Like it was a whole like fledged storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had 4 stages of Harley's life. The middle stage, like the third stage wasn't a lot, mostly just because it was just normal Harley. And then I had like him all grown up. But like there was some of the videos had more production value than others, especially the transition because I filmed them later on. But the transition once I had better filming equipment, but the transition from stage 1 to stage 2. So Harley when he was like still at home to Harley on the streets.
Harley on the streets.
It was so good, the transition. Yeah, Harley on the streets. And he just pains Eddie.
It was painful.
It's painful, it's great. But yeah, it's one of my favorite storyline to do just because it was a lot of fun. And I worked really hard and people liked it. People got very annoyed at me. Another fun storyline I also did was if Apollo died. If it was sort of like a what if Apollo died in Tower of Nero.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which was based off of a theory idea with Birdie Bees, and so I did that. It started off as like a 5-part series because I just filmed some stuff while I had gore makeup on because I was filming something else, and I turned into like a whole ass series. With like a build up and everything. I even got to do promo for it. It was a time. It was actually I'm sad because I put a lot of effort into like the final video and didn't get a lot of traction. Because it was like genuine editing that went into it because I was playing 2 different characters, but it was a lot of fun. I got transitioned from like where Will like heals Lester and he becomes Apollo. It was great, and it was to the song "Flower Gleam and Glow." Flowers gleam and glow.
That fits. That fits.
Flower shine.
That hurts too.
Make the clock reverse. Bring back what once was mine.
I don't appreciate this, Justin.
He said he was going to do this.
Here, Pine, you can answer this for me because it's the Ed Talk. We don't talk about.
Hello, Edwardian era. How's that gender crisis going? I think Eddie just refused to acknowledge the gender crisis. They're obviously not. You're not cis. We all know this.
Water.
I think the correct answer is Eddie is just queer. He's gender queer. Just you don't even worry about putting a label on it. Just be gender queer.
Justin, I don't know how to ban people. That's fine.
It's one of the things like, granted, yeah, but like you don't need to fucking put a label on yourself. That's what I've kind of done. Technically, only until recently did I actually put myself on the Aero Ace label. I used to just say I don't know what the fuck attraction is, which is true. I don't know what the fuck attraction is, but you know, I just didn't bother labeling myself because I stressed too much over. I stressed too much over. I stressed too much over over labels. So I just kind of was like, let's especially with sexuality. I'm like, I have no frame of reference for figuring out my sexuality. So we're just gonna don't worry about it, which makes sense because it's I don't know what the fuck attraction is. Like I genuinely don't. So you know, I'm probably Aero Ace. But like, if I'm not, I have no frame of reference for figuring that out. And gender, it's one of the things. Just kind of take it as you go. It's whatever you're comfortable with. You know, if you're comfortable with all pronouns, then you're comfortable with all pronouns. You know, I'm technically non-binary, but I call myself genderqueer. That's partially because I prefer the genderqueer flag, but
fine.
But also, I just prefer genderqueer label. Also, I'm sorry. What do you mean by the hat flick thing?
What's the hat flick thing?
Go the hat again.
We're about to witness magic.
I don't know what you mean by the hat flick. Like, what do they mean by the hat flick? Like this?
What is it? The Republican thing? I don't have a hat. I can't show it.
Is it when I flick the scarf? Little tail. I don't know what the I can't do the hat flick things. I don't know what the hat flick thing is. Oh, like this?
The thing Justin does to torture me. What? I don't have a hat.
Oh, so it's this.
Magic. You saw it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
moving on.
Thank you for your commentary, Justin and MJ.
I was having such trouble keeping a straight face when talking about gender when they were, because I could just hear that. You know what? Close enough. Fine. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's what it sounds like. Okay. Yeah. So you can show me later on call.
I need to stop doing that. Okay. Anyways, but okay, MJ, I need to stop reading the chat. Okay. So you mentioned how you didn't put labels on things and everything. Like what advice would you give to any person questioning their gender or sexuality?
Is like just go with the flow. Like don't obviously some people like labels. For those who want to label themselves, that was me. I had a big thing about labels. It's just kind of like, you know, you do your research. There's a lot of labels. Sometimes there's like small labels. Good example, there's a label that falls under asexuality that I resonate with a lot. I'm not going to go by that label. It's just, you know, nice knowing that there's people like me. Well, that's an actual term. I'm not going to go by it because it's too fucking long. And also, people don't need to fucking know it. But
no one owes you anything.
You know, is don't rush to figure yourself out. Because I used to stress over figuring myself out. I'm like, oh, I have to, you know, I need to figure this out. You know, I gotta, you know, I used to stress myself over it, like over a lot of it. But I just was like, I went a lot better because I'm like, go with the flow. Am I comfortable with she, her pronouns? No, then let's not use she, her pronouns. Am I comfortable with they, them pronouns? Yes, let's use those ones. Am I comfortable with he, him pronouns? Yeah, for, you know, like some of those things is like, I used to go by they, them for a long period of time. And now I'm like, hey, he, him, not that bad. And some things is like, it's all come casually. So it's all about, it's not about necessarily figuring yourself out. It's about what you're comfortable with. For example, you know, if you like girls, you like girls. You know, you don't have to label yourself as a lesbian or as bisexual. You like who you like. You know, for example, I had a friend who, you know, for like most of her life, just liked guys. And then, you know, there was a potential, hey, there's a crush. She's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm like, don't bother labeling yourself. First of all, figure out how you feel about this girl and then go from there. And the thing is, you don't have to give yourself a label. You can just be someone who likes girls. You can just be someone who likes certain pronouns. Like, you don't need to label yourself. Labels are just there to, labels are just there to sort of like guide you or feel something you're comfortable with. A reason for labels is sort of to kind of make you feel like you belong. You know, because sometimes you know, sometimes it's confusing and you know, you might not be able to understand yourself, and then you find a label that resonates with you. Specifically like this, as I said, this sort of like micro label under the asexuality spectrum. I read that, I'm like, that's me. That's something that, because that was something that I struggled with, that I'm like, oh, because of this, my sexuality is valid and it's not true. And I read this, was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I resonate with that. So it's sort of, labels are there to sort of make you kind of like to help you figure out your puzzle pieces. If you don't need to figure out your puzzle pieces and you're comfortable with who you are, it's okay. But if you want to figure out your puzzle piece and what you're working with, then that's also okay. Same thing as what, and it's all about what you identify. Technically, I'm non-binary, or technically I'm a they, he. I just go by genderqueer because that's what I'm more comfortable with. Am I technically this micro label? Yes. Do I go by that micro label? No, because most people don't even know what it is, and I'm more comfortable saying asexuality or aromantic. Is technically my sexuality what the fuck is attraction? Absolutely. Do I go with actual terms? Yes, because that's just what I'm more comfortable with. You know, it's all about what you're most comfortable with, and don't feel like you have to label yourself. You don't have to. If you want to be someone who likes girls, then you're someone who likes girls. You know, don't rush yourself. Just go with the flow. That was advice I should have taken myself. I used to be obsessed with labels. Also, very important thing: if you are questioning whether or not you are like straight or cis or whatever, you probably aren't cis. If you're a lesbian. Because I remember, I think it was like grade 6, I was questioning myself. I'm like, no, I'm just imagining being a cis trans. Nope, here I am today. But if you're questioning, that if you're asking whether or not you're cis, you're probably not cis. Also, if you find an accomplishment or you enjoy it when people misgender you, for example, I used to love when people called me he, used he, him pronouns for me. You're also not cis.
I don't like this call out. Moving on. Okay. So Pine, if you could go to any con in the world, where would it be? DreamCon.
I don't fucking know. Probably one wherever you guys go. I'll go wherever you guys go.
Nowhere right now.
Because it's one of the things, like, I've been to a singular con. I don't really have a preference. Like,
they're much better with friends.
Comic-Con sounds pretty cool, but I also heard it's like an absolute fucking zoo.
Oof.
But like, I don't really have a preference. I mean, I'd probably just be like, hi, I would like to go to a con with you guys.
Yeah, cons are definitely more fun with friends because you get to just walk around and take absolutely terrible photos of each other.
Yeah.
Me saying this, having only gone to 2 cons.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like potentially like a VidCon or a MindCon, depending on who's going. Yeah. Like, for example, if there's potential to meet some YouTubers I really like, maybe. Granted, I have anxiety, so maybe not. But like, it'd be pretty cool. But now probably just I'd like to go to a con with you guys, which we did have plans for at one point, and then that crashed and burned.
Yeah, because of
COVID. Not to mention I'm banned from going to the US for a while because of COVID. The US is a shit show right now.
Yeah.
I'm literally like I'm not like going to America.
Don't go to America if you are not in America.
Yeah.
We're great. No, we're not. Anyway,
you can't try. I don't think you can internationally travel without vaccination records.
Nope.
Yeah. So it's not like I can really travel anyways.
Yeah. Come to New York Comic-Con? New York City Comic-Con? Maybe.
Either that's just New York. Yeah, it's New York Comic-Con.
Ooh.
I mean, if you're going, I'm down. Obviously, I have to wait till I'm allowed into America, but if you're going, I'm down.
I like New York.
I was supposed to go to New York last summer, and I didn't because COVID. Which kind of sucks. Yeah, we're supposed to go to my brother's as like a graduation present. Mm-hmm. Also, it's going to Newfoundland soon. Those both are canceled because of COVID.
Yeah. COVID. Love it. Not really. Okay. Going on. Since I talked about your dream con or asked you about your dream con, if you could be, like, cosplay any character, who would it be? Like, no cost. You don't have to worry about the cost or anything. Like, you get the highest of qualities, and it's there, ready for you. Like, no modifications. It's there.
I'm not sure. My immediate thought is Hiccup.
Hiccup. Yes.
Anyone else would be potentially like one of the superheroes. That'd be pretty cool cosplay, like like an actual Kid Flash costume. Because I just got a hoodie, so I'm like the Kid Flash copies are fucking expensive. Yeah, I think my immediate thought is just Hiccup. Yeah, because my thing is a lot of the stuff that a lot of media consume don't have like anything that would can be considered heavily costumed. you know, because like also if I can just watch Minecraft YouTube.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't do TV shows as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Hookup. That's kind of that's kind of like the one big cosplay I can think of. Also, it wouldn't be like too bad because my issues. I don't think I could handle a bunch of like armor and shit.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
I wouldn't mind just trying on a suit of armor at some point. Like maybe not like a full on like proper suit of armor, but like one that looks like one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hiccup. Like I wouldn't mind like trying like the lighter one, like the one from the second movie.
Oh,
But yeah, I think probably like a superhero costume or Hiccup.
nice. Good
Pretty cool
choices.
costume.
Good choices. Choices. Do, 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 do. Who do you look up to in the cosplay world and in general?
In general, that's a good fucking question.
I
You're
know.
talking about,
I'm good at these.
yeah, I'm never good. I'm never good at these. I like Mark Rober just because he's fucking. That man is a genius and he's great.
Mm.
Um, Cosplay community. Hi, we're gonna have to go searching through. Fucking, I think most at this point, just most of the fucking Technoblade cosplayers, like they're so good.
I mean, I've only recently got into like the DSMP and everything, and like looking through the cosplays, especially Technoblade, it's unbelievable.
They're all so
Like,
pretty. They're all so pretty. Also, I think specifically probably I fucking Nico, because it's one of those things is like, you know, he does like really cool cosplays and whatnot. And then, you know, my issue is like when I want to, I can do some really cool cinematics.
mhm,
My issue is I just don't usually have the motivation to do them,
I feel that.
which is my biggest issue. Is like I can't do a lot of like a lot of like you know I lack motivation a lot. Actually, somebody Waddle Pood Waddle, I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it. This man, so he's doing like a fully he did like he made like every single piece of a Technoblade cosplayer. I love that man's motivation because like you know he made like the armor, he made every single fucking thing. It's so it's so good, and it's just the motivation of that man to do all of that. I want that. I want that. Because my biggest issue is just finding motivation to do things.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
And also because yeah, the thing is, I can do some pretty good cool cinematics. I've done some pretty cool cinematics.
I love cinematics. They're so cool. I love cinematography. That's like my favorite thing ever.
I fucking love it too. See, I want to film a CMV, but just have me be the fucking cameraman and like edit and stuff. I love that. I love doing that.
Well,
I need to get better. I think my issue is I can't bring myself to edit when I don't have anything to edit.
Yeah.
Guess
we got to bring the whole crew up to Canada.
Yeah. Like recently I've gotten a bit more motivation to actually do some stuff I've been waiting to do for a while, but you know, sometimes it's few and far between to find that motivation. So like people who have that motivation, I envy you.
Motivation. I wish there was just like, I don't know, motivation in water or something. So you just chug it and then all of a sudden you're ready to go.
Yeah, because even sometimes I have trouble like, you know, like fully getting into you know, I just I want to improve, but a lot of times I lack the motivation to improve.
I feel that.
So I envy people like that. Fucking Nico. Nico's great. How do people spend 5 hours filming one video?
5 hours?
Yeah, like the closest I got to that is I filmed the one. You remember the really cryptid video I did with Apollo and Nyx?
I think so.
You know the one where it's like you know it was about like Apollo being kidnapped. Actually being kidnapped.
Okay, yeah.
Like that was something I put a lot of like production about, and it was pretty good. There was some flaws in it, but like you know, I can do shit when I'm around people. But yeah, some of these Technoblade cosplays are so fucking good. But yeah, no, just people who have fucking motivation to do things. I love you and I look up to you and you're great. Oh fucking also Mythical Rose. Mythical Rose is just amazing. But yeah, so you know, people who have motivation.
Yeah.
I need that. Please give me the motivation.
Before I forget, there was a question on my Instagram because I asked questions. A singular question from Lauren Pringle. How did you come up with the name Pine?
Oh, this is a fun story. Um, so, um, so basically, I have this hat. Actually, I believe I have it right here. Um, I used to wear this hat all the time. I used to wear like baseball hats all the time. I wear specifically this hat. This hat is, I believe I actually got it from my brother. It's really well worn, as you can tell. That's Scotch tape.
Oof.
Yeah, this is from a camp that me and my brother used to attend all the time. I believe it was his. I just stole it. I used to wear flat caps all the time. I don't really compliment my head according to my dad. I'm better with baseball caps. We get the idea.
Mhm.
I used to wear this like all the time, and I had a friend who was obsessed with Gravity Falls, and she thought that this hat looked like Dipper Pine's hat, which I don't currently have on me. It's in the
I
corner.
mean, it kind of is, just with 3 pine trees and green.
Yeah, like it does. I do have like the actual one as well. I got it a while ago. And so she kept, so what she would do, she also fucking loved Bill Cipher. She would come up to me um when, because we went to the same school. We went to the same grade. We went to the same school. Like, usually it was during morning when everyone's like was arriving into the schoolyard before we let into the building. She would come up to me and be like, "You want to make a deal?" She'd call me Pine Tree. And that's where Pine came from.
Oh, I love that. I don't think I heard the full story, but I love that. That
That's
is
where Pine came from. And the reason why I picked it was because when I was first, so it was my tryout name. So when I was like, hi, I'm questioning, I want to try this out. Hey, I'm like, because the reason I picked Pine was because it was a nickname.
yeah.
Granted, it was a nickname that only like one person used, but it was a nickname. So,
Yeah.
it was easy to play off as a nickname, which I did successfully do because my parents did not question the fact that I went by Pine literally everywhere but home until they didn't question it until I fucking came out.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, and so that's where the name came from. Um, and so yeah, I just picked. The funniest part is, as I technically never came out to a bunch of people because it was like, hey, I want to try out these pronouns and this name, and then just never stopped. Like, Pine was my first name because a lot of people, like, they'll go through multiple trials of different names. Pine was the first one I ever used. Don't get me wrong, I considered a couple. I did consider Ellie at one point. Glad I didn't, but yeah, and then Pine was like my tester name. Elliot was like a normal name. Elliot and Eli were my two like main ones. But yeah, so that was the story of how I got that name. Fun story, also weird one. At one point we were like fake married. Also,
Okay.
we fake married. And we took I got my friend to draw a fan art of us at like at a wedding. Like literally, I have a drawing of us. I'm in a suit. I got the pine tree hat. My friend is in like a wedding dress. It's
Fine. Okay, moving on.
we took it far, and also one of them was like a full body, one of them was like a close up, and one of them said we made a deal with like a little banner that said we made a deal.
No.
Okay. Also, that she also kind of made me question my sexuality at one point. I had a crisis because of her.
There you go.
I'm probably asexual.
That's the best way to have friends. Have them make you have the crisis. Okay.
None of you guys have made me had a crisis, which is good.
Good. Even though
I think something else, the person like called Nico hot one time.
Okay.
Like, you guys were so caught off guard when I said that because I don't use the word hot in reference to people.
Yeah.
It was just the only word to describe that cosplay.
That's fair. Okay. I have a couple, I think 2, 3 more questions for the ending. That I saved these 3 for the end because spooky. Not really spooky, but like, yeah. I can talk If you could describe cosplay in one word, what would it be? This is a hard one.
Effort.
Huh?
Effort.
Just straight out of the gate.
Effort.
True.
It takes a lot of effort. Like, it's one of the things is like, yeah, you can cosplay for fun, but especially on TikTok, like, it takes effort. Filming videos takes effort, and also specifically, you know, to do good and to be, especially for me to be proud of what I'm doing, it takes a lot of effort. Whether it be making the cosplay, like acting, filming, you know, it takes a lot of effort. It's annoying because a lot of times I don't have the motivation to apply that effort, but yeah, that's kind of like, that's like for me the one descriptor of cosplay is it takes a lot of effort.
Oh, it definitely does. Definitely does.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to a beginner cosplayer or yourself a year ago?
That's a good fucking question. Oh yeah, actually practice like acting.
Mirror.
I still need. That's just still me today. I have troubles acting sometimes, especially with lip syncing.
Oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, but also like, you know, it's just like closet cosplays, but like to other people is like closet cosplays your best friend. I still technically do closet cosplay. I'm doing them less now because I'm actually buying stuff, but most of my cosplays are closet. Let me think of the ones that aren't. Gecko technically was, but also not really anymore. Pretty much most of mine are closet, with the exception of Harley, Hermes. Like Harley and Hermes aren't because I bought stuff for them. Leo technically isn't because of the fact I just used stuff I got for Harley.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them are closet. Like I did the trend where I did 30-day, like I did Olympiatober, and I almost cosplayed a new character every day. I think I did Harley 3 times and Will twice. Though technically I don't count the last Will because the last Will was a full-on cosplay that I was just Will as because it was my Dr. Felicia cosplay.
Oh yeah.
Which was a full-on cosplay. It just so happened that I was also being Will.
Just a mix.
But like, yeah, I cosplayed like every single. I did Harley. I think because I did Valhalla Harley. I did Space Harley, and then I first singing. I did that one. But every single day it was a different character. And not to mention, technically 2 of those Harleys are canceled out because gender bend. I did both Annabeth and Aphrodite, which was queer deity because she looks queer. And then I did both Soul Brothers. So both of those extra Harleys get canceled out because I did double. So I did 30 different cosplays.
That's wow.
And they were all stuff that I had. Like some of the stuff like I'd made for example, I had like the little certain leaf thing, little like laurel leaf for my gods. I obviously Harley was a made one already, but like I remember my Thanatos cosplay. That was fully closet. It was actually pretty good though. I was pretty proud of that.
Oh yeah.
I did 2, the Inhuman version I used for Stranded Gods that got banned real quick, and then the more human version, which was pretty solid. But also, I never looked more powerful as when I was fucking playing Zeus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also work with what you got. Like, just have fun with what materials you do have. Like I did. So basically, I have these little pod lights that change color. We just have them in the house. I did this really cool effect. The videos are on my thing with the gods. It was basically a chain where what I would do is I had my screen black. I would have the light positioned behind me, so kind of like you saw my silhouette. You know, I would do a thing, and I was bringing fun of me and do like this cool, like it was a really cool effect. A lot of people liked it. You know, it was literally just me in a cosplay with a pod light. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything like crazy. It was just, you know, me with a pod light. And you know, I did some pretty cool things with nothing but just what I had lying around.
Which is the best.
It's all about using your resources. For example, for the longest time, I didn't have a proper tripod, and even when I did, I didn't have one that was tall enough. For example, I used to have a mount that used to put before I got my ring light. I had a mount that I was put on a tripod. It broke, and so I'm like, I still need a tripod. I'm MacGyvered, aka I have I don't know if I have it around here, but I have a clip for my phone.
Yeah.
So I brought up a little like thing that you put the camera on, and I taped it to that and used that as a tripod until I got my ring light.
There you go.
And like just work with what you got. For the longest time, I used the clip and my phone on a cardboard box.
Definitely. You just gotta, do what you want.
You can do a lot of cool stuff with just stuff you have lying around the house.
Yeah.
But, again, as I said, most of my cosplays are closet. And, I made Clarice's spear with a couple of wooden poles that I had in cardboard and paint. My original Hermes cosplay, not my current one. My original Hermes cosplay, also cardboard and paint. My original Caduceus was a pencil that it was a pencil that had like things on it, which I shaved off, painted gold. I had like little wings and I had, like wire and stuff. Like it's stuff just had lying around the house. I now have like a full size Caduceus, but I originally had like a tiny one. But yeah, it's all about just using what you have around the house and just get creative with it. Like I've done some really cool things with just shit I have lying around the house.
Definitely.
Like before I got my LED lights, which I couldn't find the remote for, which is why I'm not using them for lighting. To get tinted lighting, I put a frick ton of tissue paper over my ring light to get tainted colors. Just be creative. Like my Aphrodite cosplay is a button-up shirt and a pink sash with lipstick. And I still make myself look extremely hot. It's great. Do what you're comfortable with. If you have inspiration, to do it. Just use what you got around you. Like my Harley cosplay, which ended up being like my main cosplay, originally was just stuff I had lying around the house. So, just be creative with it and, work with what you got. Everyone might have like fancy stuff and, you might want it, which I know I personally do, but, you can still do a lot with what you got. I did a pretty solid Mellowkey and Cat cosplay with just what I owned.
Yeah.
Like I had a hat to represent the disc. I had like cool lipstick for Mellowkey. I had whiskers for Cat, which someone thought it was a Dan and Phil cosplay. Which I get why, but still.
It's 2021. Excuse you.
Yeah, just be creative with what you got, and that's kind of like the big thing. Like that's how you do it. Like my TJ cosplay, it looked pretty much like accurate.
Yeah.
It was literally just clothing I had and then cardboard and gold paint. Not to mention, our friend M does a frick ton with what she has.
Oh yeah.
Like she doesn't have a lot, and she does a lot. Like her,
she's a goddess.
Her.
She's a goddess. I stand by this. She is an immortal, walking among us. Just,
it's amazing, yeah.
Wow.
Not to mention, and even space, for example. I recently did a video where it was a pirate video, and so it was basically my I had a pirate who was like ditching, like leaving behind a party, and they were like walking through like the ship or like the tavern, whatever. I made it look like I was actively walking, and I was literally in my doorway. Like I had this tiny little space. You can kind of see a bit of it here. And I made it look like I was actively like walking somewhere. And literally they were filmed in the exact same corner of my room. Because here's the thing, I don't have a lot of filming space just because of the way my room is and the way my house is. And I did a lot with just like, a tiny little, because the place I film is right in front of my doorway. I have a little tiny little corner there that has nothing there. And I filmed like a full on, I looked like I was moving. I looked like I was, interacting with the space. You can do a lot with what you got.
Definitely. Yeah. This has been a fun time on the Ed Talk, talking about gender expression and Pine, cosplay. Yeah. So, I don't know when the next Ed Talk will be. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You're not gonna lie to your viewers again.
I'm not gonna lie this time. Yeah. Anyways, but thank you, Pine, for being the first guest on season 2. You're taking a bullet.
I'm pretty sure I was the first one to offer, anyways.
You know what? You're taking a bullet still. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys had a good time. Yeah. So, bye. I'm gonna end the live now.
Bye.
I'm so awkward, but bye.